Welcome back. We have made it all the way down now to Module 4, and in this particular module, I want to talk to you about navigating through your different workbooks. You'll need to know how to open files, and when you get them open, how do you work with some of those larger files and some other options I want to go through with you. This is section 1, and in this particular section, I want to go ahead and talk to you about how to open your files in Excel. And if you're familiar with opening files in other programs, it's going to be very similar. Let's go ahead and flip over to Excel and talk about opening a file. We're currently working in the file called My Sales Report that we actually created. You do not have to close one file to open another. You can open as many files as you want at the same time and flip back and forth. However, I do suggest that if you are finished with one, that you go ahead and close it just so you don't have all these files open. Here's how you're going to open a new file. If you go to the File tab at the top, that's going to throw you into the Backstage view, and you'll notice the third option down says Open. If you remember when we were saving a file, we talked about all these different places that you could save a file, and opening is really the opposite of saving. You're going to tell Excel where to look and then which file you'd like to open. Over here, you're going to see a list of all the files that you've recently opened. If you wanted to open one of these again, you just double click on it here from this list. I wanted to show you also the little pen that you see over here to the right. If you want to actually pin this to the list, you can just click the little pen, and notice it moved it up under these pinned options, and those are files that will kind of stay at the top of the list for you for easy reference. Those would be ones you'd use often. But in this case, let's go ahead and browse, and I'd like to look in Libraries and in this folder called Documents where I have this Excel folder, and I'm going to open that up and I'll see all the files that are in that folder. I want to go ahead and open a particular file called Loan Workbook. You can either click once and then get onto the bottom and hit open right here, or you can double click on the file to open it. Now I'm going to go ahead and zoom in down at the bottom so that we can see this a little bit better. This is a file that actually will tell you a little bit of information about the loan that you have created. You can see the monthly payment is $400.40. And over here you've got the principal, the interest rate, and the term in months. Any of these can be changed. If you notice over in F4 where the monthly payment is, there is a formula there that basically says if I change any of these three numbers, go ahead and change my monthly payment. What if I want to borrow $20,000 instead of 18? And then let's say the interest rate was 5.7%. You can see how each time I made a change that it affected my monthly payment. If I look at the bottom of this file, there are a couple of sheets here. We're on a sheet called Terms of Loan. Anytime you'd like to flip to a second sheet, you just click the Sheet tab at the bottom, and now you'll see this one breaks out every month of the loan, principal, interest, all the way across. Now let me zoom in on this one a little bit as well. It's kind of small there. You can see here is your beginning balance. Here's the interest, the principal, and the remaining balance on this particular loan. What I wanted you to notice in this exercise is that this $20,000 is the same number, if I flip back to the terms of loan, that we had put in right here. Now someone could have typed that on each sheet and it would be correct. What they did is they went to the detail sheet for the 5-year loan and they put a formula right here. And in this particular case, if I double click and open it up, you can see that this formula basically says have this cell match the cell D3 on the sheet called Terms of Loan. And I want to show you how they did that because it's really fairly easy. Anytime you want a cell to match another cell, this is all you have to do. Remember, wherever you click, that's where the answer is going to be. And I want to hit the equal sign because I'm writing a formula. I want this cell to equal on the sheet Terms of Loan, and notice as soon as I clicked there, it put that in your formula for you. And then I want it to equal D3. Notice that's in the formula. That's all you do. Hit the Enter key, and that's done, and now they're linked. Let me try that one more time and show you how that works. I'm just going to delete this. I'm going to start with the equal sign. I'm going to flip to the Terms of Loan because that's the sheet that has the cell on it I want to equal. And then I'm going to click in the cell that I want it to equal, which is D3. And that's it. I'm going to hit the Enter key on the keyboard. That takes me back to the cell I was originally clicked in. And if I double click there, there's that formula that has the name of the sheet and the name of the cell. When you're looking at a formula and you see an exclamation point like you see in this one, that just tells Excel to change from a sheet tab to a cell. That's all that is. I want to go ahead now and show you a little bit about how to work with some of these larger files like you see here. Why don't we go ahead and flip over to section 2 and we'll talk a little bit about working with larger files.